Welcome back to the Cardiac Who's. This is Ben. Glad to have you back. I'm excited. College football's back. The fall weather's coming in. There's just a lot to be excited about UVA football. Sean and Mills, what are you guys excited about?
I'm just excited. College football is officially back. Week 0 turned to be a good weekend. Florida State, Georgia Tech. What
First
y'all think?
ACC game.
Yeah, in Dublin, Ireland. Pat
Well-
McAfee on College Game Day. Did y'all see any of those clips?
Will he remember is the real question. But Florida State, the first team in ACC history to be 17. Let that sink in.
Okay, with the new additions to the ACC.
First one to be 17.
Someone's got to be
More
first.
news. Bronco
lost to Montana State.
It's history repeating itself. He loses to FCS teams every first game at a different school.
I like the guy. I wish him well, but
it's funny.
What's big UVA news today?
Nick Howell giving up a lead again?
I think Ben's hinting that we got our QB1.
Yeah, I'm excited. I hate the term QB1. We got a starter, as they like to say.
You don't like Friday Night Lights? QB1? You think
Anthony Colangelo.
You think Colangero's got a big little
starting quarterback? Now, should he change his profile pick that he took last year? I think so.
You know what? I hope his college roommates right now have like a QB1 like poster sit outside his door or something like that.
I'm just thinking about the picture. He just looked like he was happy to be there, but we're happy that he's starting.
Yeah,
a lot to be happy about. I think with our roster this year, a lot of big changes.
Yeah, 100%. I think the big thing is QB1, and I think that AC winning the job, he clearly outperformed Tony Muskett in fall camp. Elliott said it was a tight race, but I think he made the right decision going with the young buck. And I think it's just time to let him eat. Let him be his person. He sounds like he's more mature. He's growing, and I think he's going to make the right decision. Was he careless last year? Absolutely. But what freshman wasn't? So, I mean, Sean, you have like a debate. You always said it was 50-50, but now we got our guy.
Yeah, I agree. Last year, Anthony Colandrea definitely had some bright spots, and he had some low spots. But this battle might have been won last year in the regular season. But if you look at the fall camp as well, it was a true battle for once. And that's why it took so long to name a starting quarterback. But again, I think this is the right move for Tony Elliott and the crew because it gives him time to grow. And let's be real. Muskett, his time.
This is his last 12 games.
It's time for him to move on.
He's not going pro.
He's correct. So you gain not a whole lot by Muskett playing over Colandrea. The ceiling is a lot higher with Colandrea. So I like it.
Fans want this move.
It seems by X today that even the players were excited for Colandrea.
Speaking of X, go follow us on Cardiac Who's.
Yeah, I Sean, sorry to cut you off, but I've been thinking about it. I mean, Tony Elliott and Dez kind of had to handle this a little politically. They had to approach it, I think, out of respect to Tony, because Tony's a good quarterback. I just don't think he is the guy for us this year. But I think that's why they held out. I think they knew AC was going to be the guy. But I think they do recognize that AC has the higher ceiling. It's got to feel great, though, knowing Tony's back there and ready and can go.
I 100%. I think this isn't he won it like single-handedly, like just outright better. I think this is like a 60-40 win. So if Anthony goes out there and he's struggling and we are in some tight barn battle games that we shouldn't have been in, he might be on the hot seat. He might get yanked. But I don't think it's play-by-play or game-by-game. I think it's got to be collective.
Yeah, but also we don't want to see this two-quarterback system.
Absolutely. No, we don't want that.
It doesn't work.
No.
And, some people say it does work, but you got to have this kid needs confidence, and he has to have it.
But what's better than the schedule we have to start the season off with to grow some confidence? So I like it.
And the big thing is we got some key additions that we've added. But before we get to the roster, I do want to bring up one thing. We're going to see some new additions to Scott Stadium. And I know we're not going to touch on it much, but new audio, new scoreboard, the hill, which we don't like. But, I think, with the low attendance that we've been seeing at Scott Stadium, I think this will also bring fans back.
Well, with the scoreboard, it's got to be exciting when you're bringing in recruits and they're getting to see this new scoreboard. I think it brings a bit of legitimacy to the program and to the stadium.
And the new
I don't go to as many games as I'd like to. Sean has some feelings about.
I'm excited. The main thing is the fans have been wanting is upgraded sound system. For the last 8 years, the sound has been absolutely terrible. The LED light
was cool.
Upgrade, really cool. We got a couple of night games to start off the year. We're going to be able to experience that. I'm perfect. The scoreboard is going to be a great addition. I'm all for it.
I think the new atmosphere with the Who Walk is going to be great. We're all excited. It's going to be a great season to 2024. Let's dive into this roster because we have some key additions added.
Yeah, so with AC, I think the expectations are high. I think he's in a better situation to succeed. We've added a lot to the O-line. We have 5 starters on the O-line returning. I have pretty high expectations.
He's got to be protected.
That he's going to be better protected and give him more time to make decisions. We have the transfer from UCF, Metcalf. Pretty excited about him reuniting with his old offensive line coach. But a lot of weapons for AC this year.
The big thing is the receiving core. We lost 75% of our output last year to Malik Washington. Congrats on being drafted by Miami. But we got Malachi Fields,
great
stud. You got Chris Tyree coming from Notre Dame.
A lot of leadership there. He's apparently he's filling right in with the leadership
and
role.
then you got Andre Green from UNC coming back, which is and then you got the kid from
Kent State, Terrell Harris.
And then you have some key guys that played good role, in Twitty, Harrison. Those guys stepped up at times.
Yeah. So I think the receiving core is going to be good. You're going to see a lot of play action. I think the running back room is going to be big with Kobe Pace. I think
if he can stay healthy, I'm a little concerned we're thin in that.
Yeah, but Xavier Brown, I think he was a good addition, and I think
Well, he's coming back from injury. X is back. He was out all last year.
Yeah,
so he's returning.
He better give it to you.
I think X and Kobe Pace are ready to take us to the next level. They'll be prepared. Now, if one of them goes down, I do think the depth there is an issue.
Yeah, you see Chris Tyree. If something happens to both of them, Chris Tyree drops back to the running back room where he's
got experience.
Experience. But also, I think another key part of this, we're going to see a lot of shotgun from AC. He's not going to be under center, too small. But I do think the tight end room is pretty packed. And I think you're going to see a lot of 2-option tight ends.
Yeah, so we have a couple guys returning. We have Sackett, Wood, Carson, Gay. We have some really exciting guys coming in.
From Harvard. Who's the kid from Harvard?
Tyler Neville.
Yeah, I think so. And then the kid from
Sage Ennis from Clemson. So with that O-line returning, with those tight ends, experienced tight ends, I'm hoping to see a lot better protection for AC. You don't want to see the guy get hurt.
Yeah.
So I'm expecting him to have a lot of weapons as well this year, and I think the offense will continue rolling.
With us playing Richmond coming up first, starting off, I'd love to see Tony Elliott just take the ball. If we win the coin toss, take the ball, give AC his moment. Let's go out there and drive it out.
One more thing about AC with the new rules.
Hey, he's got the headset. Play action.
Do you feel like that is huge for a guy like AC and his decision?
Yes.
Makes it a little.
I think it works better on the road. Scott Stadium's not going to be bumping and 60,000 people screaming at you. They're going to have probably 20, 25.
But they're
maybe
going to
30.
see they're going to see stuff that he's not going to see, and they're
Correct.
going to communicate that down. Y'all say he's so short, you can't see over the line.
Well,
but
they only get to talk to him till the play clock hits 15 seconds or the ball is snapped.
But that's a lot. You can play in. You got play clock 40 seconds to 15. You're looking at 25 seconds.
It's going to be a huge advantage if you can figure a way to no huddle and then get some of that information
Now,
relayed.
Tony Elliott did say you're still going to see his staff and the three colors.
Oh yeah, that was on the sideline today with Florida State.
He said it's still going to be out there because he doesn't trust technology and he needs AC or whoever the quarterback. Now it's AC to understand what the play is. So having that visual and hearing it, I think it's going to be big.
So I think we're good on the offensive side of the ball. What are we thinking about the defense?
God, man, we were banged up last year. We had so many injuries. It's good to see that Cam Butler's back.
Antonio Clary's back.
Chico Bennett's back.
We got a lot of veteran presence on the defensive side of the ball and the team in total. But I'm very excited for the secondary.
Who was my man that you remember in Tennessee? He got the forced fumble and went to the sideline, did a little parade, and he flew out his knees.
No.
Was that Ben Smiley? Who was that?
Man, oh man, I'd have to go back and watch the game. It's tough to go back and watch those ones.
But that was pretty funny. We were super excited, but my man on the sideline.
Yeah, but you got
Cam Robertson. Let's talk about the sophomore and how
I don't know if you can pronounce that name, but there's the injured guy.
Akolowoski. I don't think he's back this year. But getting to Cam Robertson, I do think that he is back.
Nah, he's gone.
Oh, he's gone. Okay. Well, I will say, getting back to Cam
best of luck to you, bud. I hope you recovered and at least got a strong degree.
Yeah. So speaking of Cam Robertson, he was clearly our best player last year on the defensive side.
Good leadership.
Yeah, young guy. I will say though, I'm excited to see him play. I'm definitely excited to see Dre Walker also as the linebacker, and also that freshman Ethan Minter. You know, he came in as an athlete, but he's playing linebacker, so we're going to see him. But I think Chico Bennett, Cam Robertson leading the front, and then the biggest question of this defense is our secondary.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
but I think we've addressed that. We got the transfer from Clemson, Malcolm Green, who couldn't play last year, but I think we're really excited for him. You got Jonas Sanker, one of the best free safeties in the league. He's going to be back there. And then again, you got Antonio Clary's back. He had an ankle injury last year, so we got him back. So now the depth may not be there. It looks like we got
Let's take a look at some of the transfers. I think he went out and got a few cornerbacks this
season. He definitely did.
He went out and got some. And he met that part. The big thing, you know how you help this defense?
Keep them off the field.
Keep them off the field. Keep them rested. And it goes back to that offensive line protecting AC. Now, do you get back to the defensive side, are we going to run the same 4-2? Was it 4-2-5 last year we ran?
I mean, it just baffles me how the flip-flop in our defense from not last year, the year before last year.
Well, we stud, but we had a terrible offense.
And then last year, pretty honestly, in my opinion, a very serviceable offense.
Terrible defense.
Hey,
I'm no person to go after a coach's job, but I will say there are some spotlights on these coordinators.
I would agree. I mean, one of my favorite or memorable walkbacks is wanting Nick Howell fired, and it didn't ever happen.
Let's not bring up the walkback.
We'll get to it.
We want to keep our listeners. And just jumping on it, there's three sides to the ball. Special teams, I think we're okay.
Due for improvement. Definitely need to improve from last year.
Will's kicking the ball fine.
Well, it's not the kicker. I don't think he didn't lose us.
The good thing is you got Chris Tyree returning. He's a good kick returner. You also got Daniel Sparks, punter. I'm glad that no offense, the oldest guy in college football, is finally gone. I mean, I'm glad he served our country well, but yeah, you know, I'm glad that we got Will Bridge kicking balls.
There may be times in this podcast where we certainly don't agree with each other.
Hey,
That's why it was a great story. He got more coverage than the actual team did, so I'm fine with it. But more so, we got enough depth that the true skill players don't always have to be out there, and then the true freshmen that played last year they know their role in the special teams. I think they'll be better because they have more experience doing that side of the ball. So
I mean, you got 15 graduate students this year. I mean,
I think our average age is up there. I think we're pretty old.
Well, that's
especially
something
on
that
the
I've
defensive
seen.
side of the ball.
That's something I've seen trending with, especially with these transfers, kids coming back to their home state. That's exciting to see.
I definitely think I'm excited for that. I mean, seeing these guys come back. Obviously, it's a transfer situation, one graduate transfer. But I mean, if that could help us in the long run with recruiting, winning back to state, they may be like, "Hey, look, it might be better to stay in state."
So just to poke at the NIL, make it a little fun. Who do you think we hear on the radio for the good feet story of the day? What athlete you think we're gonna hear?
I think we're going to hear Anthony Calandri. That he's your QB. He's the leader.
I think Cam Robinson's gonna be out there too. I mean,
Did they stock shoes his size there? I don't know.
One thing you're talking about
shout out good feet
with our transfers, and we didn't mention it, was the new facility.
That was huge to probably help land these transfers.
It was much needed. Now that these kids have state-of-the-art locker room, you know, they're excited. You see on X, they're all like giddy about the colors, the locker room, the facility for, you know, the weight room.
The weight room is gorgeous.
But then also like the ice baths. They actually have an ice swimming pool.
Well, I certainly hope that
it brings recruits.
I certainly hope Tonyette's bringing these prospects and recruits in
100%.
The first 4 games to see all this stuff. But yeah, it's really excited to see some of this stuff that's going on. So let's jump into it.
Right.
So we're looking at the season preview here.
Yeah,
this
season
is the
preview.
Season
I mean,
overview, what we think. We're going to give our thoughts.
Before we give our thoughts, what are your thoughts just on preseason rankings?
Oh, I think we're
trash. Not us, just in general.
Preseason.
I don't put very much. I don't put very much stock in it. So, you know, with some exception.
You saw it today. You got Florida State, the 10th ranked team in the country, getting beat by Georgia Tech, which is a team I'm high on. I think they've done the work, and I think they're going to get a bunch of teams like that this year. But Florida State didn't look like the 10th ranked team. DJU, not the answer. I'm sorry. He hit a ceiling a long time ago. He's not going to be a person that's going to carry that school.
To be honest with you about the top 25, I get it. Ben, you're not high on it, but I think you're going to see, especially with this year, with the new playoff format, 12 teams, you're going to have the 4 automatic conference winners get the top 4 seeds. How does that affect Notre Dame with not being in a conference? I think Georgia is the team to beat in Ohio State. I do think that's going to do. And, you know, we do have our pick'ems. You know, part of our podcast, we do the Mills's pick'ems. So I think we can get into that. Is that something y'all want to jump into?
Might as well, since we're talking about the top 25. So let's do these pick'ems for these teams that we haven't even seen play this year.
All right. So first game, number 14, Clemson versus Georgia. Who you got, Ben?
I want to go ACC, but I think it's going to be Georgia.
Yeah. Sean?
What was the game?
Georgia, Clemson. Are you not paying attention over there?
I was checking in on the SMU score, you know, the new ACC team.
Oh, yeah, how are they doing?
They're playing right now. They're down. But,
all right.
So, I think Georgia's going to roll Clemson.
Yeah, I'm going Georgia. I'm actually going to be down in Georgia for that. Not actually going to the game, but going to my wife's family. So, her nephew goes to Georgia. All right, next game, another top 25 matchup.
I must say, though, man, how embarrassing that is that Georgia comes in and smacks around ACC back to back again.
Yeah, I do think Clemson's going to get us punch in the mouth. Notre Dame versus Texas. This is Texas A&M. Sorry, not Texas Longhorns, Texas A&M. So SEC versus Independent. I'm not high on Notre Dame, so I'm going Texas A&M.
I mean, Texas A&M on the road is a very tough on the road. Going in Kyle Field in Texas, you got a new quarterback transferring from Duke. He's going up against his old head coach. I'm picking Texas A&M.
Okay. Yeah, I'm on Texas A&M wagon as well. The next game is an in-state rivalry. I thought it'd be fun for y'all, especially with Florida. Have what kind of tough schedule they're supposed to have this year. So Florida versus Miami to open up.
I'm taking Miami on this one.
There you go on the ACC. I'm gonna go Florida. I just think they have to get this win. So Napier has to start winning games, or he's gonna be on the chopping block.
I mean, Florida's got the toughest schedule in the preseason rankings, but it's Miami's very highly touted. People got them winning. This could be a toss-up, barn burner, but I'm gonna go with Florida at the Swamp.
Yeah, and then the Sunday game that we have playing out in Las Vegas, USC versus LSU. I don't know much about at USC because they lost a lot of talent, especially Caleb Williams. But I think I'm gonna ride with the Tigers. LSU.
Yeah, I pick LSU. I don't know a ton about USC, but
Yeah, and with them being in the Big Ten, it's gonna be fun to watch these teams like with these new conferences that we have. And Sean, who do you got?
LSU.
Okay, and our last pick 'em, but I think I'll wait till closer to the end of the podcast. Is definitely our UVA game. But that's what I got for the top 25, and it's gonna be fun to watch and see what kind of rankings we have.
Yep. Let's go ahead and look into our schedule now and kind of break it down, what we think, and head into that direction.
Yeah, so the schedule. So we got 12 games. We start off with Richmond, and then the next week we go to Wake Forest. And then we have an old ACC foe coming back that we got blown out last year by Maryland. I think that's going to be a fun game. I think all three of us are going to be there. So check us out at Section 529. And then we go to a kind of a trap game. I think Ben likes to call these things. Coastal Carolina. And then you got Boston College and Louisville coming in. And then Elliott returns back to Clemson for a little homecoming game to Clemson. So we'll see how that goes. And then we have the oldest game of the South, UNC, coming into town. And then you got Pitt and Notre Dame on the road. And then SMU, as you were talking about, comes into Scott Stadium. And then we end the season with that team from the West, Virginia Tech.
The Boogeyman. Well,
Boogeyman.
Let's talk about Richmond. The spirits are high right now, and in order for really to have a successful season, this is a must-win game. I think
if we
lose to Richmond, they take all the wind out of our sails for the rest of the year.
Yeah,
absolutely. Because if you look at the first four games, we have to look at this season in the quarters and break it down that way. Those first three games, and you start the next three, those are the big ones for us. And if we can start 3-0, that's going to be huge. And I definitely think it's doable.
I mean, the good thing that you said about that, every fourth game we have a bye.
Yeah, we have a good set of breaks in the schedule. It sets us up, but we go through a lot at the end.
So we got a bye between Coastal and Boston, and then we have a bye between Pitt or UNC and Pitt. I do think you say that we have to win that Richmond. I think it's got to be a convincing win. We can't just come in there and win by a field goal. I mean, which is great. A win is a win, but I think it's got to be convincing, especially against Richmond.
And this is our neighbor.
I mean, yeah.
We're closer to Richmond than we are UVA. Us personally.
Yeah, well.
I'm saying this is.
Yes, but this is.
We're not competing with them for recruits or anything. But
we're paying Richmond to come to town. We're paying Richmond to come to town.
I'm just saying, this type of game, in state.
Should win.
Gotta win.
Yeah.
Losing the in-state teams sucks,
I mean, I think Sean
especially like last year.
Sean said that he sees like us starting the season could go in 4-1.
I mean, if y'all haven't figured out, and you will eventually, Sean is definitely the optimist of the group.
I'm very optimistic, and it's the time of year we're getting excited for college football. But I also think that it's you will have to be optimistic to be excited about all this, and I think we have a lot to be optimistic for. Going through that roster, looking what we added, we have a tough schedule, but I think some of these games are going to go our way this year. We lost a handful of games from a few plays last year. This year, I think the tide turns differently, and I think we put some projections that I've seen to bed, and we outperformed.
I mean, yeah, we're projected to finish 16th in the ACC.
Some have us predicted to win 0 ACC games.
Yeah, I saw a good. It was like the PFF. I mean, everyone just talks about the PFF, but I will say I saw a good little not article, but like a graph that said our ceiling and our floor, and I think our ceiling was a 5-7 record, and our floor was 1-11.
I mean, I just see the schedule, and
you see a lot of winnable games.
I see winnable games, and that's the key word is winnable. I mean, you look at last year, there was a lot of games that we lost, but we
lost 4 games by less than 3 points.
But if we look at that schedule, guys, starting with Louisville all the way down, those final, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 games, 8 games with Boston College, those 7 games are going to be brutal.
I'm not saying we're going to walk.
That's why we got to get the wins from the beginning.
Yeah.
If we can start 4-1,
come in 4-0, there's a chance we end the season 6-6. There's some winnable games in this last.
Some of those are toss-ups. You can flip a coin, and if we play a perfect game, I think we can get someone's number
well,
in
if
shot.
Nevada's beating SMU, there's a winnable game right there.
A lot of people are high on them, but right now they're in a battle with Nevada. So,
and one thing that I just love about being a UVA fan is always being the
Oh
underdog.
yeah, we're never going to be. I mean, I think we're a 20-point favorite against Richmond. That's not going to happen. We might be a 5-7 against Coastal, and then that'll be it.
I mean, what does the sim say?
If we're busted in the sim, unfortunately, Richmond's not in the game, but they give us FCS East, the Astronauts. They only have us beating us, they only have us winning 28-23.
What did Calandria do in the game?
Oh, you don't know what Calandria did. Calandria had 2 interceptions.
Calandria lost
13 for 24, 168 yards, 54% completion percentage.
Look at that height, by the way. 6 foot.
Yeah, the studs are a half inch longer in those cleats.
All right, Calandria, I'm short too. Don't worry about it. Go out there and ball.
I know you can see over the line. Sean, you bend over, see if Mills can see over you.
Yeah, I think the schedule is going to be a little tough. I think we're going into year 3 of Tony Elliott's regime. This is really now the time that we get to see Tony Elliott and what he's going to produce. Because let's be real, the first year he didn't have much time to have. The second year we had the tragedy. So this year is kind of the true.
This is the first true off season.
Yeah,
I think what you're trying to say. Their first true off season, no distractions. He's not traveling the world, going to funerals or anything like that. So we're getting back to football.
Yep.
Last year was a transition year, so this is the true year back to football.
Yeah, this is, I think, a make or break year for him. I think if he can't turn it around this year, I'm not saying that he's going to get let go, but
it's going to be a long talk with Carlo.
It's going to be a tough road ahead from there. And it's a little disheartening as you see Brent Pry come in, same amount of years, maybe not the same obstacles, but I mean, very different tales there.
Yeah.
So have we covered Richmond sufficient? We're going with a win against Richmond.
Yeah, I think we're all going to pick UVA to win that game. I think I don't think we covered the spread of 19.5, but I do think that we have to win by double digits.
I'm pretty excited to be at that game. That's going to be a fun game to go to.
Yeah, it's going to be a good one to be at. Being back in Scott is going to be a lot of fun. Looking forward to the following week. We're at Wake. What's y'all's thoughts?
I don't want to jump ahead to it because we'll definitely dive deep into it. But
Well, more so, what do you think? You think win or lose? What's your thought right now?
I just don't want to see a 2 quarterback system, and I'm afraid that if he struggles a little bit, you're going to see it.
Yeah, I'm. That's why that Richmond game is real important
It's
that we
key.
win.
And I want him to play the whole time.
You also want to walk away with a chip on their shoulder every single game. We beat Richmond. We're coming into Wake Forest.
So Wake Forest. I mean, we're at Wake. It's a 7:00 game. I think that first ACC game. I'm going to say we win that one.
Yeah, I think if we come in focused after the Richmond win, got to be focused. Can't be too excited about beating Richmond. Yeah, I think we can walk away with a win.
I definitely think it's a winnable game. We have to play a complete game. It's on the road at night. I think we get it done.
Sweet. So Maryland. This is like the first true test, or they're all going to be tests, but like first, revenge game.
Yeah, I think we have to erase last year from our memory. They're a different team than last year.
I think they're better.
They don't have the same quarterback.
No, but I think they brought in a lot of good transfers. We're going to see what that quarterback is. But you're right. It is a revenge game. So what are you thinking?
Well, it's their home, so I'm saying it's winnable. I hate making these types of win-loss decisions, so early. I'm gonna be optimistic. I'm gonna say we're gonna win this game. It's gonna be a close game, though.
Okay, Sean, what are you thinking?
Maryland is definitely going to be a tough one. It's going to be a great atmosphere at Scott. If we come into that game 2-0, the stadium better be packed. But I think it's going to come down to 1 or 2 plays, but I think Maryland edges us out.
Yeah.
Side note, crab cakes for tailgate on that one?
Absolutely. We'll make it happen.
Yeah. I like that. Ooh. Crab cakes and football. Yeah, I'm thinking Maryland's going to beat us barely. I think it's going to be like a last-second field goal kicking into the hill. Coastal Carolina. Going to Coastal.
You're a Sunbelt guy.
I am a Sunbelt guy. Go Dukes. But yeah, Sunbelt. It's a good conference. A lot of people sleep on it, but it is a good conference. I mean, someone on College Game Day had App State in the 12th seed in the college playoff. So the Sunbelt's going to be competitive, but I do think that we pull out a win against Coastal.
I think it's a conference that ruins seasons and ruins.
We got ODU against Tech a few years back.
Right. But I think after that, just with the big upsets, the Sunbelt is definitely full of upsets. But,
we're going to handle business.
Okay.
And it's important. So I'm making picks based on what I want to see this year. So I want to go with the win there. And so because I think that sets the tone for the rest for the year, whether we can be a 6-16.
So this goes into you got us at 4-0. Sean's got us at 3-1, and I got us at 3-1 as well. So now we're in the depth of our ACC play. So Boston College, it's a home game. Probably going to be a 12:00 kickoff, knowing us.
New coach, but if we won 4 games, that'd be a 12:00.
Yeah,
we might get flexed to that 6 o'clock
Who's
spot.
that? Who is the coach? Isn't it
Bill O'Brien?
Bill O'Brien, yeah.
Coming back, he spent all that time in New England, head football coach at Boston College. I think we get it done. I think we can beat Boston College. It's going to be tough. There's no easy game for us, but I feel like with our depth, we have the ability to be in every game and have the chance to win it. I think this Boston College one is big.
I think we're riding high coming into this game. It is a home game. I'm thinking that's going to be a heartbreaker. I think we're going to be starting getting a little too high on ourselves. If we can keep our focus, though, one game at a time, it could go the other way. But, look back at Duke last year, coming into our last game of the year.
Beat Duke, though.
After that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, let's not talk about it. So Ben's got a loss there. Sean and I think are going to get W's. And now here comes the meat and the potatoes of the schedule. All right, Louisville. those boys, a lot of people are high on them.
I think Louisville's really going to be really strong this year. I don't think we're going to see the same thing we saw last year, unfortunately.
We played them tight last year.
We did. That's what I said. I don't think we're going to see the same thing.
Yeah.
So
I'm saying a loss on that one.
I agree. It's going to be a tough game. It's going to be at home, but that's definitely going to be a tough one. I'm going to go with the loss.
Going loss or win?
I guess we'll go loss. I hate to even say it.
Yeah,
it does hurt.
It does. But
we got to be realist as well as optimist.
And now it's homecoming for Tony Elliott going back to Clemson. I think Clemson's just bigger, stronger, faster.
What did he have to say on Coach's Corner the other night?
He didn't say much. He kind of deflected the question, but he said he's excited to see some of the people he hadn't seen in a while. But once the ball is kicked off, it's a war or something like that. He's ready to go to battle against them.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see when Clemson plays Georgia. I think that'll be a decent measuring stick to see really how dominant they're going to be this year in the ACC. They have kind of backslide a little bit, and seems like Dabo is fighting the transfer portal. So, like I said, it's going to be interesting. Again, I think it's going to be a loss. That's such a tough game being away from home against Clemson, but what kind of score will be? I think that's to be determined.
And we can always change these week by week when we're doing this podcast. It's one of those things. Breaking news! Sean's just letting us know that SMU squeaked out a W against Nevada, 29-24. So that's gonna be fun to watch the recap of that game. But Sean, Clemson, what do you think?
Yeah,
okay.
It's a loss.
All right, here comes the oldest game of the South, UNC. I'm going to say we pull W out of it. It's a home game. It's the Saturday before Halloween. So I think this is we catch them sleeping, and I think UNC is always overrated. So we win this one.
Do we play Tony in that game? Musket.
No, I think stick with.
No, I'm just joking around. But I think I'm going to be optimist. That's going to be one of those games. Those last 7 games that we have, I think that we have an upset mixed in there, and so I'm going to take UVA on this one.
It's going to be a tough one. They're very upset because we derailed their entire season last year. They were undefeated when we beat them. I think it's one of those 50-50 games. If we execute, we have the ability to beat them. I'm going to be optimist. I'm going with a win.
All right, straight across the board. Then we go in November. We get to November, and we go up north to Pittsburgh, cold, playing in it's not Heinz Field anymore, but the football where the Steelers play. I'm gonna say it's a loss, and we just don't play against Pittsburgh well. It's one of those things that they just have our number, so I'm thinking that's an L.
Well, I feel like we've had a break from Pittsburgh. They're still slightly on the rebuild. I think they're going to be better than they were last year.
What a fall off like Kenny Pickett in the NFL.
But again, one of those 50-50 games. It's one of those winnable games. I'm going to go with the win.
Okay, so you just became bowl eligible. I like it. You got us bowl eligible now. Sean, what do you think?
I think it's a winnable game. I definitely do.
Well, all these are winnable games.
There are a lot of games that you can flip a coin and see, but again, if we execute, I think we have the ability to go into Pittsburgh and win this game.
Cool. So are you saying a win?
I'm going with a win.
Nice. Notre Dame, I think we're all probably on the same wagon of this one. I think we're all going to say we're going to lose to Notre Dame.
Yeah, I think it's just another tier of football, very similar to Clemson, Louisville.
Sean likes Notre Dame, deep down. Redhead.
I have a soft spot for Notre Dame.
You Catholic?
Rudy was a great movie. I don't think we beat Notre Dame.
No. And then SMU, last game the last game before who, but I think we're just beat up. I think we're tired. We're beat up, and I think we lose this one.
Yeah, I don't really know. I don't know much about the program other than the Pony Express. I just have such a dislike. I want to beat them so bad. I just feel like they have no business being in the ACC. So
yeah.
you want to see every ACC team, even Tech, beat them. Um, yeah, but I have to probably go with a loss. I just don't know.
We haven't seen a lot of SMU. They had a strong fourth quarter today. Fortunately, we do have the ability, since we're recording this so late. A lot of people are high on SMU. I'm going with a loss.
Yeah.
They got a lot of talent.
And then the game that we all dread talking about because we're 1-19 in the last 20 years against this team. We haven't beat this team at Lane Stadium since 1998. Virginia Tech, boys, I get it. Sean's about to come in here. He's about to do his dog and pony show about his rivalry game, and I love hearing it. I just Pat McAfee even picked him to win the ACC. Like, I know Pat McAfee doesn't know a lot either. He's one of those guys also picks West Virginia to win the Big 12. But a lot of people are high on Kurt Herbstreit was high on them. I think that Tech has they're returning 21 of 22 starters.
Yeah, I just don't know who they're paying. I feel like they have the same PR team that Kamala has. It just seems like everybody's in love with them. And it's just such an easy, bold take for people to make. I'm not saying we're going to win the game, but it does get annoying. Oh, we've got the best basketball stadium. Oh, we've got the best football stadium atmosphere.
I mean, they have beaten us 19 out of the 20 years.
Again, I'm just going back to what really irks me the most is just the undue accolades, the undue.
They haven't won a national championship in any sport.
Well, yeah, but I'm personally, from a UVA perspective, I'm getting tired of throwing that in their face as well.
Yeah,
but it just to me, I just feel like ESPN is just riding them. It just gets on my nerves. I mean, I'm gonna go with the loss. I mean, it's such a tough game. I don't think it's gonna be as bad as you think, and I think a lot of this is gonna be leaned towards really
who the quarterback is,
how beat up they are too at the end of the year. Because what I'm also hearing is that they're pretty thin. They have a good strong starting core. A lot of guys are returning, but I don't know how deep they are. So you never know what they're going to look like at the end of the year. I mean, I don't wish injury on anybody, but who knows what they're going to look like at the end of the year, and that's going to determine a lot of different things.
What you got, Sean?
Boys, it's a rivalry game.
Oh, here we go. Everybody buckle up.
If we can't find a way to get up and play to their level for one game, it's going to be sad. Yeah, people are high on Tech. Everybody's excited about them. They haven't done anything. Haven't won a national championship in anything.
Sean,
but we're going to go.
Viewers to do a GoFundMe to send you to Lane Stadium.
I'm not going to Lane Stadium.
Go?
I won't.
Like,
go
what
to
if
Lane.
we win? Will you?
But I'm not going to sit here as a UVA fan and tell us, "Oh yeah, we're going to lose the Tech." It might be inevitable. It might happen, but I'm going to be positive about it. But this is a rivalry game. You throw the records out the window. They have it coming to them after what they did to us at our field and what their fans did on our field.
Ladies and gentlemen, this
disrespectful.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Sean Scott.
One thing though that bothers me, Sean, is that you don't want to go, and I think that's a problem across the board. UVA needs fans. We need to show up at that game. We need to be there.
I'll be in Martinsville.
They do it to us every single time they're in town.
We can talk to your wife.
Why can't we get a crowd up there?
Because they
know how to sell tickets.
We'll get to that in a minute, but
not
Sean.
Again,
what are you doing? Win or lost?
I hope we play up.
You know what?
I'm going to be a UVA fan. I'm riding with it. We're going with the W.
All right. So then you have us going 7-5. 2, 3, 4, 5. You got 7-5. I like it. Okay. Sean, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7-5. And then me, I have a good solid 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5 and 7. More realistic, but yeah, I think this is our just predictions, and like I said, this can change week by week, due to injuries or what we're seeing on the field. But I think this is a good start for the opening of the season, guys. I think we're all excited. We can get Sean on the soapbox about rivalry games and everything. But Sean, you got something special for us after home games, don't you?
Absolutely. Every home game I'm going to be at this year, I'm going to attempt to do a segment called The Walk. It's about a 15-20 minute walk from Scott Stadium to Fontaine Research Park. So I'm going to bring some headphones. I'm going to bring a microphone. I'm going to try to give you my take fresh from the game, the sting or the excitement and joy of a victory.
Sean, remember this is a family show.
Yes, we'll keep it rated, but it's going to be exciting to get some true fan takes straight from the game. And the people who park at Fontaine, they're the real fans, not these foo-foo folks that park right outside the stadium and dressed and all up. We're the true fans out there at Fontaine. There's nothing wrong because they're Virginia fans in the end.
And they're donors. Probably donors.
Yeah, they spend a lot of money. But the true fans, we have fun. It's out at Fontaine.
And I just want to say, Sean's been working on his cardio. No, you won't hear him huffing and puffing as he's walking up the hill. But
I think this is a good, this could start to our podcast. And I think, this is, be sure to follow us on X at Cardiac Who's. We're going to be making posts and what our insight throughout the week. And then we're going to do follow-ups after the Richmond game and kind of see how we played. So, Ben, take us away.
Yeah, well, I hope you enjoyed listening to the Cardiac Who's. We'll get better, I promise. Next week, we'll be talking about Wake Forest. We'll touch on how the Richmond game went. And again, follow us on X. Thanks. Go Who's.
Go Who's.
Go Who's.